person who has better interpersonal skills with the client is going to stand out. That's inevitable. That's happening in every industry. Every social media
Hmm.
post looks the same because of AI. Now,
Yeah.
the person who's going to be super creative will stand out. Every artwork that is made by AI is going to look the same. But now the artist who is the most creative stands out.
Work is changing, quickly, irreversibly, and often invisibly. I'm Chris Fanchi, and this show is about understanding where it's headed and how we stay human in the process. Hello and welcome to Human Work After AI, the show where we explore the future of work, technology, and what it means to stay human in the age of AI. We're speaking with founders, technologists, and thinkers who are navigating the shift toward an AI-powered economy. Today's guest is Biju Ashokan, CEO of Radius, an AI-powered real estate brokerage platform backed by the founders of Trulia, Zillow, and Roofstock. Biju is a Carnegie Mellon-trained computer scientist who has spent 13 years building tech that simplifies every step of the real estate transaction for agents and their clients. At Radius, he's on a mission to give agents superhuman productivity through intelligent automation while preserving the relationship-driven heart of the industry. Biju, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Chris.
So I always like to start with my guest background. We touched a little bit on it in the introduction. So can you tell us a little bit about what first you got interested in technology and then into real estate?
Yeah, right from high school, I've always been attracted towards computer science and programming. Uh, and very early in my life, I was introduced to real estate as well. My dad is a real estate lawyer, so kind of combined both these passions and started my first company called Metro Plots straight out of school. Also in real estate was a tech brokerage. In that process, we learned quite a bit about real estate workflows and what real estate agents go through. So my mind was always thinking about new ideas and new tools for real estate agents. And then I was running a business of a brokerage. So I had my own brokerage operational issues too. So we we're thinking of solutions for that. We eventually got an exit and I started Radius with the whole idea of making independent brokerages, such as my previous company, stronger and be able to compete with the larger brokerages with the advantage of technology. And the last 3 years have been the most exciting with all the AI stuff coming out because I think we live in a very, very interesting space right now across all industries and real estate mostly because real estate is always 10 steps behind other industries with tech. So AI is helping this catch up faster. So even the real estate professionals are very open to using AI. So this is like a really, really good time for real estate tech.
How long have you been doing Radius now?
It's been 10 years since I started officially and registered the company, but it's been 4 years since we started the tech brokerage arm. So we like to think of Radius now as a software company with a brokerage license instead of the other way.
Okay. So how has your vision for the company changed just in the last 3, 4 years, given the rate at which the technology has changed?
The vision has always been the same, but the vision was to make transactions, the agent's experience and the client's experience super easy. And that can be done with technology. That is always the vision. Like if you go back to the very first slide that I created in my first pre-seed pitch, it was that vision. The last 3 years have been exciting because I think AI is making that vision happen faster. There's a lot of things agents do. There's a lot of things that goes into buying a property and selling a property. To make a software that does all of it is a huge enterprise, right? And it takes a long time to build that. In the last 2 or 3 years, I think we're thinking about it completely differently. Like it's a complete 360, right? The same problems can be solved in a much better way using AI, and hence software in real estate is getting redefined. And we want to be in the forefront of it, and we've been pretty successful at doing that.
So before we dive deeper into the company, this is your second property tech or real estate technology startup. What kind of lessons did you learn from your first business that helped you shape the vision of Radius?
Yeah, I kind of jumped into the first startup quite early in life without doing a lot of research. And the second time around, I think we did a lot of research. And by research, I mean me literally spending time in real estate agents' offices, helping them with open houses. We did that for at least 6 months. And I did not write a single line of code. I did not hire anyone until I knew everything about there is to know in real estate and what real estate agents go through. If they are your customers, you need to know them really well. So the first learning for me from the previous startup was do your research, understand your customer really well, ask them what they need, figure out what their aspirations are, even if they don't tell it to you directly. And you'd probably find a theme around it and then use that theme to kind of build a solution. And that's how we started Radius. Over the course of the last 4 or 5 years, there's obviously when you run a company, you make a lot of mistakes. You don't learn this in a B school, or you only learn this by running your own company. Getting the right team, right people in the right roles with the right hunger at the right timing in their life, all that plays a big role. So hiring is probably the most important thing that you can focus on when you're building a startup. And it's usually kind of underrated skill that good leaders don't talk about. But the ability to identify that person who's going to make your company successful is, I think, a very good skill to have. And that only comes from experience.
Absolutely. So, talking a little bit about Radius, what was the problem that you identified through all of these interviews and these conversations? What was
Yeah.
that main pain point that you figured out needed to be solved?
Yeah. At the end of the day, buying a property from a customer's point of view needs to be a very simple, enjoyable experience. It's a huge investment, and real estate agents make that happen. So for them, there's a lot of complicated operations that they need to do, which customers don't see from when they're interacting with agents, because they always present themselves well and like they smile all the time and it looks very easy, but it's not easy. They don't get a salary. They're literally going from one sale to another sale, to make money. And there's a lot of pressure, and there's a lot of things that they they don't want to spend time on, but then they have to. Documentation. Just in California, there's like 100 documents that you get signed before you can buy or sell a property. Agents need to know these documents inside out. These documents change based on different types and different locations. They need to have all that info. There could be legal issues. There could be compliance issues. And all this happens after you get a client. And there's a whole lot of work you need to do to get that client because it's highly competitive. Everyone's got a social media account. So they're all posting the same kind of stuff. How do you stand out? What emails do you send out to get attention? Like, who should refer you business? There's so much you need to focus on to like be successful in this industry. It's not easy. Now, on top of it, they got into this because they're really ambitious. Every one of us starts something because we're really ambitious, right? And real estate agents get into it exactly in the same mind frame as a founder. They start their own business because they're independent contractors. So when they get into it, their ambition is to first learn about the industry, become fairly successful, and then start their own brand, then become a company. So they have like these big visions for themselves. So that's the first thing I learned. Like they're all like this really good agents are all super ambitious. And the other thing that I learned, which is kind of linked to the first one, is they want to build their brand. They don't want to build someone else's brand. There's a lot of work that
Hmm.
goes into it. Why would they build someone else's brand, right? But when we started Radius, big amount of agents worked for other brands. I don't want to name the big block brokerages, but you know the big ones. They all hang their license with them because they don't want to do the boring stuff. They want the brokerages to take care of the boring stuff, which is the documentation,
Hmm.
compliance, insurance, and all of those things. So that's the second learning for me. So like their heart is not in it, but they kind of need it. That's why they go join these. But what they really want to do is become independent. So we, right from the beginning, started working on technology and infrastructure and support to make that dream come true. You can actually go start your own company. Or if you already have a company, we can make your operations super simple. And that's always been the pitch. Over time, as we built the software, the target audience has become larger and larger because first we used to go after small teams, then it became medium teams. Now we're talking to large teams. Pretty sure we're going to get talk to like much larger mega teams as we build the software. It's becoming more and more relevant. So yeah,
Okay.
the two biggest learnings.
Yeah, no, that's great. How does Radius, which considers itself a community-centric brokerage, that's what you call yourself. How do you make money? What is your revenue model, and how do agents find you and come to
Yeah,
work with you?
yeah. I mean, like I said again, we are a software company with a brokerage license. So agents pay us a monthly subscription to use our brokerage platform. So we're not targeting agents; we're targeting teams. So our typical ICP is the person who runs the team. So the team leader or the brokerage owner or the CEO ends up paying a subscription for all their agents, like they pay per seat, and all the agents get access to all the software. The second revenue model is for every transaction that goes through our system, we get paid a commission. We get a part of the commission there. So we're basically redefining what a brokerage should have been in the first place. Like if you convert the entire real estate brokerage business into a software, this is what the revenue model will be. And that's what we're headed towards. And that's what we want to build towards as well.
Okay. So where does AI play a role within your platform? What kind of tooling do you utilize and what do you provide to the end user?
Yeah, you know this as well as anyone else. Buying a property, selling a property, the workflow is the exact same, except a few things change here and there. Customers ask the same questions, agents ask the same questions to their managing broker. Documents are pretty much the same, just with a few variations based on the things that clients ask their agents and the calls, the process, the text messages, the emails exchange, the property recommendations. All of this keeps happening again and again. It's not like two customers are completely different, right? Like it's process is the same. Their search might be different. The properties that you recommend are different. The documents that they sign might be different, but the process is the same. This is ripe for AI, right? AI is really good at making repetitive processes easier by doing it for them. So the way we think about AI, and we call it Mel, by the way. Mel is our AI assistant that we provide to all our teams. So Mel helps with lead nurture, with client communication, with documentation, with managing broker support, with auditing, like everything, right? The communication on calls too, like Mel can like sit in on that conversation and take notes, build this persona of this client on its own, which even the clients, which agents might not know about, right? Like the clients might be browsing for properties, still knows that because Mel's has access to the software. So it can create this persona of this client and give it to the agent saying, hey, by the way, Chris is a highly engaged client. And if you send Chris this right now or call him right now, you're going to get him to go to the next step. Even better, I've scheduled an appointment with Chris. It's in your calendar already. Or I've scheduled a property showing for Chris. It's already in your calendar. I've sent a CMA report. So AI is going to kind of do all the repetitive communication types and it's going to become proactive because every chat GPT, Claude, all of these are reactive. You ask it a question, it tells you. But what we're building is it's going to be proactive. It's going to be your assistant and take care of everything in your business.
Very interesting. How do you accomplish that? How do you be proactive in that real estate transaction and relationship?
It's like any conversation. You and I, if we know each other more, I know everything about you and your life. I have more topics to talk about with you. And the same applies to you, right? Like when you're interviewing me for the podcast, if you know more about me and my business, you have a lot more questions to ask me. And the conversation gets better and better. It's the same concept. We want Mel to know the client really well. And Mel gets all this information from calls, from text messages, from emails, from client activity in the search. So many different ways to get information about the client and create this persona. Now, Mel is probably the most capable to send out questions proactively, ask them what they're looking for. Hey, by the way, I've sent this comparative market analysis in this neighborhood because I know you're looking there. Like proactively sending it to them makes a difference, right? So Mel can do that. It's about just information and data. So because it has all the data, it does a much better job.
So what part of the real estate agent's job do you think needs to remain human? What part is not going to ever be automated because it's a necessary part or it's what makes the real estate relationship work?
Yeah, all the physical meetings, negotiations, just painting a picture of 205 can happen like in a couple of years, right? Every agent has access to all of our tools, let's say, and every agent is super powered by AI. Now everyone's on the level playing ground. Now what happens is the person who has better interpersonal skills with the client is going to stand out. That's inevitable. That's happening in every industry. Every social media
Hmm.
post looks the same because of AI. Now the
Yeah.
person who's going to be super creative will stand out. Every artwork that is made by AI is going to look the same. But now the artist who is the most creative stands out. So with agents, it's interpersonal skills. Uh, it's going to be their ability to negotiate. It's about the network that they already have. They might know agents, more agents than another agent. And because of that, they probably have more access to either properties or like they know better how to negotiate. They understand the neighborhoods better. Referrals are probably more common for certain agents and not for other agents. So there's a lot of these human stuff that comes in to be really successful. But for sure, agents who do not rely on AI are not going to be successful in 2 years. Like if they kind of say that won't work, I'm not going to get into AI because it's all bullshit. There are those kinds of agents too. That's not going to work in the next 2 or 3 years, right? Like it might work for the next few years, but it's not going to work after. So I think the ones that are smarter are getting into it now because they know that if they sell 10 properties a year today with AI and how it's growing faster, they can probably even sell 100 properties in a year.
So where are you at in terms of your marketing and your go to market right now? Like how many users are on the platform and what are you seeing in terms of some of the early metrics from users that are on the platform?
Yeah, we have over 100 brokerages that we power. And this is like more than 1,000 agents in our platform. But we're only focused on California, Florida, and Texas, and mostly in California right now. And we just opened up in Texas and Florida. Uh, there's a lot more teams to go after. So with respect to marketing, as we build this product, we rely more on inbounds and referrals, word of mouth. So we've been getting our teams to refer other teams, and that's how we've been growing. But if you notice over the last month or two, we've been a little bit more proactive with marketing and we started putting more stuff out there because we feel we now have like the complete product.
And what kind of metrics are you seeing? Are you seeing that increase in transactions among the brokerages that are utilizing you?
Yes, painting two pictures here. One, 2022 to 23 to 24 to 25, real estate has been steadily dropping in terms of transactions in the US. Compare that with the teams we have, 23 to 24 to 25. The average growth from 23 to 24 for an average team for us, is about 100%. 24 to 25, anywhere between 70 to 100% growth. So our teams are growing. Even like just before this call, I was on another call with like a bunch of our team leaders at brokerage owners. And we asked them like, what is the number one reason they joined us? Because we're trying to get some marketing material. And they said Radius frees up a lot of their time. What they do with that time is go recruit more agents to their team or focus on growth, get more leads, focus on the things that we don't help them with, but with growth. That's why all of our teams have grown like 2x, 3x over the last 3 years.
That's great. How is your platform able to help them during a down market like this? What kind of strategy changes and things are they able to take advantage of?
Again, giving back them the time that they otherwise put into just operational stuff is so important. Because imagine like you are running a team and your entire day is spent on supporting your agents. How do you grow? Right? And they ask you the same questions every single day, right? Like it's repetitive, it's a cycle. So if you're held up by that, then how are you going to focus on growth? So you're not going to grow. Second, the other frustration team leaders have is like, why can't my agents be more productive? If they can sell 2 extra homes in a year, that's a huge difference in the revenue. And that's what
Mhm.
we promise. We'll increase their productivity. We'll make them manage more clients than normal because AI is taking care of most client communication. It's just scheduling meetings for you. And then you basically, even your agents save a lot of time and then get a lot of clients. So it increases the top line as well. But the third benefit for owners is all of our software is in one place. They don't have to spend on 15 different products and then switch between, oh, this is a CRM I use. This is some property recommendation tool that I use. This is a reporting tool that I use. This is like an offer management tool that I use. None of them talk to each other, so it's all confusing. So I'm going to stop using it eventually. And my agents find it super difficult to use it, but I want them to use it because I want better reports. But it doesn't happen because you can't force someone to use something, especially a CRM. So it's all like an operational mess. So they all go back to spreadsheets. Uh,
Mm.
and that's spreadsheets is the most commonly used tool amongst like most real estate agents. So we end up putting all these tools in one place for them because we've built all those tools in one platform. That makes it really simple for them to do everything. And second, they don't need to ask their agents to like manually add stuff to get an update. Mel is doing all the updating for them. So the team leader has better control of the team. So they can easily measure how well their team is doing and they have more time and their agents are more productive. So the team starts growing.
So what is the general mood that you're seeing within the industry around AI? And has working with your platform changed perspectives on AI for some of the agents, the people on the ground?
Yes. So last year, same time, there was a lot of apprehension, right? Like they're like, oh, AI can't do this. AI can't do what I do, right? I think over the last 6 to 12 months, I think they've been using Claude and ChatGPT a lot, and they're seeing a lot of AI stuff in social media. Everyone's talking about it. There's a bit of a FOMO that has set in. If I don't jump on it early, even though I don't understand it, but I need to jump on it and learn it. Otherwise, I'd kind of be left behind. So that's been a big change in the last 6 months. Every agent, or especially broker owners that we speak to, unanimously, everyone's been saying, I need to learn more about AI. I need my team to have AI as like a strength because then I can recruit agents. Because these agents that they're recruiting are asking for it. If they don't have it, then they're not going to join that team. So
Yeah.
they need to do it, right? So it's been a pleasant surprise. And my promise to most of our partners and who we get is like just being with Radius, you're going to learn more about AI and the capabilities of AI. And first, it'll feel like, whoa, this is amazing. But slowly, I'm going to make you push the limits for me. You're going to tell me, can AI do this? And that's going to spark an idea for me. And I'm going to do that for you.
Mm.
So it's been really, really nice receiving all these new ideas that our partners have been telling us. Like first they were like apprehensive and now they're like, oh, can AI call my clients? I'm like, okay, remember 3 months ago what you said? Now you want AI to do this, right?
So, as agents become more productive, it could be argued that there will be a need for fewer agents. What does that future world look like? Do these agents shift into other roles? Or is there just not going to be as much need for people within the real estate industry?
I think you're spot on. The number of agents are going to reduce, but the ones that stay are going to be extremely professional, extremely tech friendly, AI friendly, and they'll be extremely productive too. So I wouldn't be surprised if like a normal agent closes like 30, 40 deals a year in the next 2 years. I think it's going to get to that point because the number of transactions in the country is remaining, it's going to remain the same. Like just like with your market movements, that number is going to be the same. It's just the number of agents who represent them is going to reduce. And hence each of these agents who stay and like invest heavily in learning about AI and leveraging AI today are going to reap the benefits. They're going to do so many transactions. And eventually, maybe if like 5 years from now, when this happens, I think the commission percentage will drop down too. So from a consumer's point of view, 2.5% might not be the average. Like it might reduce to like 1.5, but agents will do a lot more deals. So they will be actually make more money in a year than they used to.
Yeah, fascinating. So, what are some of the human skills that you see becoming non-negotiable now then for agents? Like you talked about relationships is going to be so important. What should an agent that wants to be one of those hyper-productive professional agents that survives this, what should they be focusing on?
With tech, I think the answer is I think everyone, all of us need to be better at training AI. Think of AI like a child, and then keep training the child. And the child is going to like grow up to be all knowing. And that's how everyone should look at all their AI assistants. And I think they should tell themselves they're trainers of AI. So the real estate agent or the team who has Mel and their instance of Mel, who can train Mel with all of their personal information, is probably going to be more successful. So with tech, that's what I think it's kind of going to evolve into. And I think the more you do it, the more time you spend with AI, I think it's going to help you more. Second, yeah, interpersonal skills, like I said, and human interactions, negotiations. Just knowing a lot more is important about neighborhoods, about properties. I think we will very soon see a single point of contact for multiple parts of that sale process. What I mean by that is today you have a real estate agent, you have a lender, you have a home inspector, you have a lawyer. Like you have so many people helping you with all these things. I
Mhm.
think in about 5 years, that's all going to become because they have so much time. AI is helping with them everything. I think they can solve all these things together. So you'll have like one point of contact who takes care of the entire thing.
Interesting. Have you done anything on the mortgage side or the lending side? And
Yeah,
what does that look like?
we got ourselves a mortgage license and an escrow license. So this is all new to us, and then we're learning about it. Because if the transaction spends a significant amount of time in our software, I think it's only justified to have all these other options also go through the software. It becomes easier. And we want to build software solutions, AI solutions for all of these things eventually. And fascinating. I'm learning a lot because I've always been in real estate. Now I'm learning about mortgage and escrow, very soon insurance. So we're trying to like become this one-stop shop in terms of a software solution and also pushing our teams to be all of that for us so that we can use all these features. So the pitch is it's actually really easy for you to be a mortgage lender because software does everything. It's actually going to be easy for you to be the escrow officer because one click you can open an escrow. And we want to make it easy for them to be all of that with the help of software.
Interesting. So there's obviously a lot of data, personal data that's involved in the home buying and selling process. How do you guys handle some of the data privacy concerns, especially as you're touching more and more parts of the transaction?
I mean, the regular stuff, it's all encrypted. And also, we don't own the data like most brokerages. The data that we get from, we power brokerages. So when they put their data in, the data is theirs. So we make sure there's different instances of AI for different teams. So they can't ask their Mel, tell me about another team, and Mel's not going to tell them. So it's
Mm.
creating different instances of AI helps with that. So there's like this common information that Mel knows about real estate and about everything. And then there's team specific information that Mel knows for each instance of Mel. So that's how we kind of split the data. And then there's regular protection, encryption, and all of that.
So one of the things that I'm always curious about, and we know these AIs aren't perfect, right? And they do still make occasional mistakes. Where does the liability fall if there were to be some kind of a mistake during the process? If the AI gave the home buyer the wrong information or made a mistake on some of the paperwork?
I mean, we protect ourselves with our terms and conditions and everything, but we always tell our customers, by customers, I mean agents and team leaders, exactly what I told you, which is think of Mel as a baby. Right? You're training the baby. You can know some things. If it tells you something wrong and you know it's wrong, tell Mel that it's wrong. She's not going to make that mistake again. So we set the right expectations right from the beginning, saying use this as a guide. It solves 90% of your problems, but if it doesn't, you can train it and then we can change it too. So let us know when it, the feedback loop is pretty strong.
But definitely want to keep that human in the loop to check everything before anything goes out,
Yeah.
gets
So,
filed
for
or
example,
signed.
one feature that we have is Mel is always in a conversation that an agent have with their client. So it's like a three-way chat with Mel, and Mel will jump in and respond to certain things with the agent's permission, and the agent can obviously jump in and edit it before it sends. Or they can also join in and say, hey, by the way, I saw what you said. This is correct answer. And then Mel will respond within the chat saying, oh, thanks for that, Chris. And then the client is seeing all this, right? Like, so now the client is also fascinated. Oh, wow, my agent has his own AI assistant and this is fun. Like I can ask Mel anything too as a client. And then I start asking Mel questions as a client and agent can see what the AI assistant is telling the client. So it becomes like this friendly AI assistant with agent and client interaction.
Interesting. Yeah, that's very cool. So, what does your roadmap look like over the next, say, 12, 24 months? What are you aiming for? What's that big win that you're hoping to get?
We want to build the complete brokerage software. So we want to call ourselves the AI brokerage that enables other brokerages, right? So, and we don't want to build the CRM. We don't want to build anything that exists today. We want to find shortcuts to every single problem these solutions solve with AI. So we definitely want to like something as simple as Mel, write an offer for Chris. Mel should be able to write an offer. Or here's 10,000 of my contacts. Mel, can you find out which of these are sellers that are actively looking to sell their property? Mel will find out, right? So these are just like some ideas, but there's a lot more ideas like this that we want to build to make it a complete AI brokerage that our brokerage teams that we power will absolutely love. And we want to get into mortgage, escrow, insurance, all of that with our software and AI too.
So, what about expanding throughout the United States? Is that a high priority?
We're just trying to like get everything done in like a small set sample size, and then after that we want to expand to all the states.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of them have are a little bit easier to get into than just California. So you're starting with one of the most difficult, I'm sure.
Same.
Yeah. So I'll let you out of here on this. You've watched AI mature from just a novelty to now basically becoming a necessity. What keeps you optimistic about the future of AI, and what keeps you up at night? What makes you a little bit leery?
The the tech side in me very excited about everything that's happening. Like I don't know how old you are, Chris, but when we grew up, we saw The Fifth Element and we saw all these like futuristic movies, and I think all of that is still happening. Things that you saw in Minority Report is not that difficult to like it can happen.
Hmm.
So that part is super exciting. Everything that we kind of dreamed about or saw when we grew up is all happening right now. The same thing also scares you a little because this is probably the first time in the world, I guess, anytime where we don't know what jobs will be available in the next 10 years. Like this is like I read somewhere that this is the first time parents today they actually don't know what to tell their kids to be good at. You
Yeah.
don't know what jobs are coming up. So just like be open to everything is the best advice they can give. So that part is scary and exciting, I guess, to an extent. The unknown is exciting, but it's also scary.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much sums it up, right? It's so much unknown, so many possibilities, but it's hard to have that uncertainty, right?
Yep. And working in AI, you actually know its capabilities. Then you also know anything is possible, which is exciting and scary at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Biju, this has been great. I really appreciate you coming on the show. Where can our listeners find you, follow you, and learn more about Radius?
Thank you. You can go to our website. It's www.radiusagent.com. I'm also on LinkedIn. My email address is biju@radiusagent.com. So feel free to reach out to me if you're building a brokerage or if you have a brokerage and you want to become a tech uh, powered brokerage.
Fantastic. To everyone listening, thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, be sure to share it, subscribe, and leave us a review. And as always, stay human.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Human Work After AI. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast provider so you never miss an episode, and we'll see you next time.